So having looked at this occasion during the Jewish Passover when Jesus threw the money changers out of the temple, and by the way, this happens at the start and the end of Jesus' ministry. Now we're going to look at the next little section, which was the reply of the Jews when he did this. So in reply, the Jews say to him, "What miraculous sign do you show us since you do these things?" Then Jesus answered them and said, "Destroy this sanctuary and I will raise it up in 3 days." Therefore the Jews say, "This sanctuary took 46 years to build, and you will raise it up in 3 days." But he was talking about the sanctuary of his body. So when he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered that he said this, and they believed the scripture and the statement that Jesus had made. Okay, so the next little incident is very interesting. What we have here is the Jews, and they're saying they're seeking a sign from him that he's doing these great things. What authority is he coming in for doing these great works? And Jesus says, okay, I'll give you a sign, but he does it in a coded form that they did not understand, because they were not really interested in the sign. They weren't really interested in finding out the truth. He said, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up again. And they all thought he was talking about the temple complex he was in, but he was talking about the temple that is his body. He was the temple, in the sense that God dwelt in him and with him. And so he said, destroy this temple. In fact, the word he uses is for the inner sanctuary. Destroy this sanctuary, his body, and in 3 days I will raise it up again. And he's actually saying, listen, there's going to be a great sign for you that I am who I claim to be. You're going to take me and you're going to destroy me. You're going to put me on a cross. But in 3 days' time, I will be raised up again. In fact, I will raise myself up again. And of course, the disciples didn't understand this either. It was only after, it says here, he was raised from the dead, that the disciples remembered that he said this. Then they believed the scripture and the statement that Jesus had made. So they started to understand only many of the things the disciples were just kind of grappling with these things too. For the disciples, they were just going along, and bit by bit they were starting to understand just how great Jesus was. And now he tells them that he's actually going to die, and he's going to rise again from the dead. He's going to come back to life again. Now this is something that he's going to repeat on several occasions during his earthly ministry. And he is going to then prove to the world that he is who he claims to be. If you can trust him in these things, if you can trust his words, then we can trust that what he says about other things is true as well. Of course, there are many evidences for the resurrection. We'll come on to that when we're going through these studies. Many different eyewitnesses. There were people that were there, individuals. There were ladies and men. There were small groups and individuals. There were large groups that saw the risen Christ and touched him and ate with him and stayed with him. And so there's plenty of evidence out there from a historical point of view for the resurrection of Jesus. And so maybe we'll leave it there. So they asked a sign, but they didn't really understand the sign he was given to them. But later on, the disciples understood and realized he was talking about the temple of his body. So we'll leave the study there. Thank you for tuning in. I trust it's been a blessing to you.